The Day Show
is sponsored by Onga.
Iconic edition of the Day Show today. Well, I'm saying iconic because we have a special woman who's joining us, and she's talking about women empowerment, men empowerment as well, which is equally important. And then also, we're talking skincare, making perfumes, doing art, all in one. It's a packed show, and I'm glad to be here to be your host as usual. My name is Berla Mundi, and I'm here with my studio audience and DJ Filter. Well, special shout out going out to Dr. Ash Furniture for our lovely furniture. You can find them on the Spintex Road close to Manette Junction. Everything that you need in your home, you'll find at Dr. Ash. Just walk in, give them an idea of what your home looks like, and they will curate an experience and also create the space that you require. But also, big thank you going out to Bivet Styling and Christy Brown for my look for today. You like it? You like it? You like it? You like it? Anyway, let's get serious. Now, we'll be talking to our guest very soon, but before that, I want to introduce the video of the day. And when we get back, guess what? We'll be speaking to our first guest. Have you heard of McBansey perfume? No? Well, we'll tell you all about him when we get back. Don't go anywhere.
Furniture on the Day Show is sponsored by Alfimo GH.
Welcome back. This is still the Day Show, and it's time to meet our first guest for today. The first time I probably encountered him was on social media. I saw his art piece and I thought, very interesting way of using thread to create art. Then I came across his perfume collection and I was like, okay, well, you should try McBansey perfume. I kid you not, it's fantastic. But he's here in the studios to share with us all he's been working on. And so please, let's welcome Musil Mohammed Nuru. How you doing? Oh, on my show we hug.
Oh, you hug.
Hey, Charlie, your suits not be here, crowd.
Thank you. Can I sit down?
Oh, have a seat.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I was going to say something, but let me keep quiet. I was going to say hi, Kim Promise.
Hey,
yeah, we're looking at that.
It's actually a Prada.
I know, I've seen it. I'm just mocking you, that's all. But good to have you in the studios. How are you doing?
Thank you, I'm doing great.
McBansey.
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 Yes, exactly.
Where from this name?
So MAC, make a change. That's the meaning of Mac.
Oh.
So you look at So you look at the logo, you'd see a lion in the middle. So make a change like the lion of the tribe of Bansi. So Bansi is actually an ancient family.
Okay.
Yeah, from Mali. So there was a time that there was this competition going on. So the family that could come home with a live lion will be actually adjudged the warrior family of the century. So the Bansi family brought 2 live lions, you know. Yes, so...
How did they drag the lion?
Well, whether it was spiritual, whether it was with tact and skill, nobody knows. But they brought 2 live lions. And imagine that. They were actually adjudged the warrior family of the Malian Empire at the time. So Bansi. So make a change like the lion of the tribe of Bansi.
Why? Is a part of your family from Mali or
something? So I trace my lineage from Mali. So we're settlers from Mali to modern-day Upper West. So we came from Mali and then we settled at Upper West.
This is the first time I'm hearing this history, and I think it's fantastic.
We have a lot of history that we don't learn.
I know, right? Make a change.
Like the lion of the tribe of Bansi. You know, lions are very, strong animals in the jungle. They always get what they're looking for.
So that's what you're doing. You're getting what you're looking for.
You need to.
Which one did you start? Was it the art pieces or the perfume?
So for me, perfumery is just like art.
Oh, okay.
It's just creation, putting things together. Perfumery is like putting 2 compounds, 3, 5 compounds together to create an aroma.
Okay.
Right? And then art too is something that can come from in it, and producing it on a canvas or creating it from scratch.
Yes.
So for me, art and fragrance are almost the same thing. Yeah.
But which one started first?
So I started with the fragrance.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I started with the fragrance, and then I went into, but I've always liked art. From my childhood growing up, I used to make, all these, we call it Conco cars.
Yeah.
So I always had something, doing with my hand. I always created something of value with my hand from childhood.
So you've always known that, arts was definitely where you were going to be?
No, I've admired art for the longest time.
Okay.
But I didn't know I was going to go into art. It's just something that came out of making fragrance and realizing that the world don't recognize fragrance as an art.
Yeah.
Because, there's a problem. For art, it has to be original. But for perfumery, they feel that things God has already provided, you are just putting them together.
Yeah.
But look at one thing. For instance, if I'm making a fragrance, and then I want orange to smell on top of the fragrance, and I want bergamot or maybe amber to be in the middle, and then oud at the bottom, how do I create that? It's just liquid. So how do you make one smell stronger than the other? Same formation, I can create it, and then amber will be on top, orange will be in the middle, and then oud will be at the bottom. That is art.
And you can smell all three.
You can smell all three. You can smell all three. So what you perceive upon smelling a fragrance is the top note. Oh. So, and then it actually transitions into the middle note. That is like the body of the fragrance. What actually stays on you for the longest time.
That's the middle?
Yeah, the middle.
Oh, really?
And then it transitions into the base note. So that's where people use a lot of strong ingredients like oud, like wood, like animalic musk. It has the very strong capacity to last on you the whole time, the whole day. Yeah, so fragrance itself, it's a whole science.
How long did it take you to learn this science of fragrance?
So in the beginning, it was just smelling good for me.
Oh, okay.
It was just, I realized, and later when I realized that fragrance is not all about smelling good. Because fragrance actually started from Africa. In Egypt, people used fragrance to worship their gods, and also used to distinguish between social classes. So if you were a royal, at the time, there's a particular scent or aroma that you would wear that the commoner cannot wear.
Oh, I see.
So just upon perceiving it, you know that there's a royal blood in your mist. You get. And then people also use it to worship God, their gods at the time, because they feel that, if you smelled good, there were certain good spirits that come around you. So that is fragrance. So I realized that fragrance is more deeper than just smelling good. And it's like telling who you are without having to say anything.
True.
For instance, if you walk in Berla Mundi and you smell like oud, you smell like animal musk, or you smell like cow dung.
Oh.
Yeah, you see? So that's what fragrance does. So if I tell you that, oh, you smell like cow dung, what comes into your mind? Unpleasant smell. But if I say someone smells like a bouquet of flowers, like roses, you associate them to, oh, sweet girl, good hygiene, and all of that. So fragrance tells a lot about your personality.
I
You
see.
get it? Yeah. So certain CEOs want to smell like animal dung. Why? Because they are not looking for any compliment. They just want to tell you that I am here. So it communicates power and authority. Finish.
Well, are you saying you actually have a fragrance that smells like
So I've
animal
made
dung?
a fragrance that smells like cow dung. And there are a few people, out of 10, only 2 people like it. And these 2 people, they love it a little bit too much.
So they go about smelling like cow dung?
Yes, exactly. So it communicates power.
The flies don't follow them?
No, so imagine someone like Gaddafi. How do you think he should smell like?
Smell good. I don't see why you should smell like cow dung.
He's a military leader. He's someone that wields power. He
So
can't
you should smell like cow dung?
He can't smell like flour. He
I
should.
understand, but
Yeah.
something other than cow dung.
Exactly. But you see, the Emiratis, one of their most, expensive fragrance smells like cow dung. But the thing is that you are saying A, but you don't even know how cow dung smells.
I know. Oh, I know what it smells like.
Yeah. Do you know how dawa smells like?
Yes.
Does dawa smell good
no,
to
I
you?
don't like the smell of dawa.
Nice one, but I have made a fragrance with dawa that smells superb. Because now you have to tone the dawa down with certain very smooth smells, like bergamot, like orange, like rose, and all of that. So it kills the dawa a little.
Charlie, you understand the business.
You know.
You really understand the business. The first time I got your perfume was
Yeah.
when I won the Emmy Award. So I think you're one of the sponsors. So there was perfume in it. When I saw it, I was
Spirit
like,
of Timbuktu.
yes.
That was what was in there.
I absolutely love it.
Yes.
What does it smell? Is it orange? No.
Yes,
Is it
so
orange?
it's a little bit of orange. It has milk in there. So it's the milk that makes it very, very pleasant.
Oh, I love it. And that was the first time. But when I saw Spirit of Timbuktu, me, I thought it was gin
You're
or something.
wondering,
I was
yeah.
like, why would they give me alcohol? Then I opened it and realized it was perfume.
Yeah.
I said, this perfume, I've not seen it before. So I
And
sprayed.
you turned it and it was made in Ghana.
Ooh. Listen, and I was so impressed.
Yeah.
So I had to tell the producer to find you wherever you
Oh,
were
wow.
so we can talk.
Wow,
So
yeah.
I'm actually very impressed. But have
you.
Ghanaians come to the realization that even if it's done in Ghana, it's still quality?
So you see, I've always have these, reservations with people complaining people don't buy made in Africa, made in Ghana. And I feel that a lot of these times we wear Western brands. Some of us don't even know where they come from.
Yeah.
So Gucci, Bottega, and all of those things.
Prada.
If I ask someone where is it made, people don't even know. Why? Because it's made and it was made well.
Yes.
So if a fragrance is made well or an African product is made well and it's on the shelves of mazes, who cares where it comes from? People don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Do you get it? But we keep on dwelling in the fact that people don't buy made in Africa. But the question is your made in Africa good enough?
Yeah.
People want global standard stuff, not mediocre stuff. We are not just supporting because
But it will
we're
cost you a
Africans.
lot to get to the global standard, which a lot
Yeah.
of people, when they're starting, do not have.
So this is what I'm preaching. Because with my fragrance, I'm trying to hit the global market. Why? Because I look around Africa and I don't see any single scent that has hit the international market. But we have scents from Oman,
Yes.
Amouage,
Yes.
that has hit
Yes.
the international
Yes.
market. We have like Arabian oud that is doing so well in the international market. How were they able to achieve that? And some of these ingredients they use were predominantly ancient.
Yeah.
But they realized that, look, now people are warming up to oud. 6 years ago, nobody cared about oud
Yeah.
because it smelled like, excuse me to say, abochi. You get it? But because Dubai opened up and it became the tourist center of the world, people got used to it and then realized that, oh, actually it doesn't smell that bad. And
Yeah.
that's what fragrance is.
Yeah.
Today, if I give you that fragrance, I said it smells like cow dung. Just be more open with it. Use it for like 7 times. You would no longer realize that it smells like that.
But when I pass, people will know.
So I'm saying that I'm trying to take our African, because whatever I do, I use our African ingredients. So I
Yeah.
use shea butter, I use prekese, I
Okay.
use, dawa dawa, and all of that to create it. Because the thing is that
Wow.
fragrances don't come from, most of the fragrances, if you go to Paris,
Yeah.
there are about 1,000 fragrance
There.
brands. If you go to Milan, it's the same thing. You go to in UK, it's the same thing. You get it. But people still want to buy from these people.
Yeah.
You get it. And then there is no point for a French company coming to Ghana to discover the essences that we have.
We should do it ourselves.
We should do it ourselves.
Yes.
And honestly, we have very great smelling ingredients that the Western world have never tapped. They don't even know
They
it.
don't know it. And you
get
know it, and that's
yes,
why you're
I
tapping
know
into it.
Yes, exactly.
You are the spirit, brother. So do you have like a plantation, where you grow all these produce? And
Yeah,
use
so
them
there are
for your-
things that we already use for our food.
Yes.
So it's in abundance. So I don't need to grow it.
Yeah.
Yes, but recently I've started growing a few things that I think that,
You should.
yeah, But apart from that, these are spices. Because I realize that anything that can be consumed can be used to make fragrance. Because
Yeah.
if it's not harmful inside your stomach, it's not
shouldn't be
harmful.
harmful on your skin.
So now the challenge is that I need to look for the, the percentage purity of these ingredients that I'm using, because the world don't know about it.
Yeah.
So they haven't done statistics on it. So I have to go and do all the statistics, the capacity of the oil to last longer, the percentage purity of it.
All that is done in Ghana?
Right here, packaging everything. How did you see the packaging?
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But you also do, art with thread.
That amazed you.
Yeah, but I was fascinated. Again, I went on your page after I discovered the perfume and realized that you had done a lot of art pieces.
Pieces for other people.
But
yeah.
when I saw, I was like, okay, another art piece,
Yeah.
as usual. But then something struck me when you were using the thread, and I said,
Look closely.
this is interesting. So you've been doing that for how long as well?
So I have been doing that since 2016, 2014.
How did you get the idea to start creating art with thread?
So I like to chart difficult paths. If you look at everything that I do, I like to chart paths that have never been charted. You get it, especially, and I know the difficulties, and that is why I love it, you know, because with all the struggles that we are going through, when it gets to a point that people like you acknowledge the fact that this is something different, then we are there.
Yeah.
You know? So for me, the art piece, I traveled somewhere in to Dubai, and then later on to Paris. I went for this art exhibition, and I saw a guy that made art pieces with rubber and straw. But he wasn't building portraits. You know, he was building like abstract things and all of those things. So I looked at the material carefully. I'm like, but if this guy can use this thing to create a guitar, why can't it be used to make a human face?
Yeah.
It's highly possible. So now I have to understand that it has to be more imaginative, you know, because no picture, you see the pictures I make, the portraits I make, no picture comes like that.
Yeah.
So how do you distort the picture, create it on a board, and then when you take a few steps back, it looks exactly like the person. It's crazy. You know?
If you are saying it's crazy, then I don't know what we would say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
so
I think it's beautiful.
Down here, I have a few people that I consult with when it comes to my younger brother and my cousin are very good when it comes to hand stuff. So I told him that, actually, this thing, how we go do them? You know, he's like, this thing will be possible. So that chapter closed.
Yeah.
But I kept on searching. I'm like, nah, this thing, something must be done about it. So I went on Pinterest and I realized that people were attempting to do something like that, but they were creating pots and all other stuff. And I'm like, no, it means that if there should be an idea somewhere that could create this thing and all of that. So we did the first one. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
I did the second, third, fourth, about sixth one. And I saw that, no, there's a trick there. You know, the thing is that when you look at the piece, standing right in front of the piece, you won't be able to see the image. But if you go some few steps back, the image itself starts forming.
Yeah.
You know, and how do you do that? So it means that you have to you look at the picture, but imagine that you are creating an abstract like you would have just drawn. You know, you should see the process. The process
I think I should come and see it
very
one of these
interesting,
days.
yeah?
It's very interesting. And
yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely visit you one of these days.
Definitely.
But give us details as to how we can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on social media, Instagram at Magbansi Perfumes and on Magbansi Global Arts. Yes, you can find me on social, on Facebook and on Instagram and all. And you see the amazing things we are doing.
I've already seen it. Yeah. I'm impressed.
Recently, we were in Paris.
Okay.
And then we cladded one guy like the Mansa Musa. And then we're on the street, everybody was just looking and all of that. You know, my brother is Chief Moomin. So,
that's your brother?
Yes, so my sister is Shemima Muslim. And
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So he took his caravan to Paris to do one of the biggest, you know, theater productions coming from, you know, 60 cast and crew from Ghana, single-handedly. It's not easy. So after the whole thing, we took them onto the streets to showcase our fragrance, Spirit of Timu, and it was amazing. You know?
Oh, I'm not surprised anymore. I mean, I'm a big fan of him and Shamima as well.
Sure.
So I get where this is coming from. But we'll have a lengthier conversation at another time. But thank you so much, Magbansi, for joining us on the show. When we get back, Iconic Womanhood will be joining us. Don't go anywhere.
They're gonna send me location. Me and my homies having a great time.
Oh, that's nice. Very interesting conversation with a woman that many admire. And I'm sure by the end of this conversation, if you don't admire her already, she'll join your list of people that you really revere. Reason being that when it comes to issues concerning women, she doesn't joke with it. And quite recently, she hosted her first conference here in Ghana, and it was a big deal, the Iconic Womanhood Conference. And a lot of women of power were there to interact, to share their life lessons, and to teach the younger ones what it means to be a woman, and a strong one at that. Interestingly, she started off as a health professional for about 2 decades. Well, she's joining us on the show this afternoon, and please make welcome Ekene Onu. we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay. Hey. Give me a freestyle. Freestyle.
Oh, I like that.
Hey. Oh, you know that one.
I know that one.
Have a seat, Kenneth.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. First of all, what does Ekene mean?
Ekene means thanks be to God.
Oh.
It's a Nigerian name. Igbo.
Okay. Igbo.
Igbo, yes.
Nigerian. So thanks be to God.
Yes.
Does Onu have a meaning apart from being the family name as well?
It's a family name.
Or just a family name?
Yes.
Tell me about your journey into being a woman who empowers other women. I know it started from the health industry and then eventually you rebranded.
Yeah.
Tell me all about that.
So I was a pharmacist.
Ooh,
Yeah, for almost 20 years.
wow.
And, it's interesting because I got into pharmacy. I didn't want to be a pharmacist right from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a child of Nigerian parents. And my mom told me, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an engineer, you can be a pharmacist, or you cannot be my child.
Oh, wow.
Pick one, right? And
Oh.
so I picked pharmacy. I mean, she was saying it kind of seriously, half seriously.
Yeah.
Because she wanted me to be successful. Our parents want the best for us, and they go according to what they think is practical.
Yeah.
But you see, by focusing on practicality, sometimes you can doom your children to be mediocre.
Yeah.
So I was a good pharmacist, but I wasn't a great pharmacist, if I'm
Yeah.
honest. But I got into the business, and I started working, and for almost 2 decades, I
were
kind of got stuck.
Doing medicine.
Doing something I didn't love to do, but the
Yeah.
salary was good.
So you had to stay in it. So the salary was keeping you.
The salary was keeping
In
me
that
there.
profession.
But then I had a baby, and when
Okay.
I had my daughter, I looked at her and I had to ask myself, if she lived the life I was living, would I be happy?
Mm-hmm.
And it started my own journey to say, what are my dreams that I really wanted to do all my life?
Mm-hmm.
And that really started me on this journey of empowering myself
Okay.
first, taking care of myself, taking back my power, finding my gifts, and then 10 years later, I have a wonderful business that I love that is international, empowering women.
Empowering women.
Yes.
But as a child, like you said, taking back your power and following your dreams. As a
Yes.
child, what did you really want to be?
I wanted to be a writer.
Oh.
I wanted to be a writer. That's just one of the things. A princess.
Oh, cool.
A store owner.
A store owner.
A store owner. I wanted to own a fabulous boutique making wonderful clothes like what
like
you're wearing
this.
right now, right? So I had all of these different dreams that kind of have come together in what I've done. So I've written 4 books. I have 2 novels. One has been optioned for film. I have the opportunity to create wonderful fashion experiences for my clients.
Okay.
Right? And I've kind of put all of those ideas together in the business that I run right now.
How easy or difficult was it letting go of a profession that was paying so well, even if you weren't enjoying it?
It was difficult. It was easy on the one hand because I didn't enjoy it, but on the other hand, it was difficult because you never know if you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's always a sexy story when people tell you they quit their jobs and they started their business, but most people don't tell you how hard it was, how for many years you're not really making money. For the first couple of years, you don't know if you're going to sink or swim. It's not even really a business, it's more like a hustle. And then after a while, it takes really getting structured and really learning about business. So I had to go back to school. I went back to school to be a coach, but I'm getting an MBA right now. I'm
nice.
back in business school.
Okay.
So that I can learn more about building a business.
But anybody would ask that to empower women, you're already a woman. Why do you have to go back to school to learn coaching and all those to
Well,
empower women?
It's a little different, right? Because we
Yeah.
can have great conversations, but coaching helps you learn how to ask the right questions to your clients. It helps you learn how to hold space because people think coaching is about giving advice.
Yeah. Is it not?
It's not.
What
It's
is it?
really not. It's about helping your client come to their own truth. Helping them understand their own power and supporting them. Because it's not about me telling you what to do, it's about me helping you figure out what you know to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figuring out what you know how to do.
What you know how to do.
How many people have you coached since you started? It's been 10 years.
Ooh, it's been 10 years. Personally, I've coached hundreds in my private practice, but through my programs, thousands of women. And now it's funny because I was in Dubai and I was with my daughter, for an example, right? And I'm shopping and someone says, I know you, iconic womanhood. And it was shocking. I was like, hey, is my wig on right? Are my clothes on together, right? Because it was shocking to encounter that, but it happens more and more because the work is beginning to speak for itself.
I see, that's cool. So what's been, in speaking to hundreds of women, and I'm sure men sometimes as well, what has been the common denominator in all of them and the challenges that they face? Has there even been one?
I think the common denominator is hard to say, right? Because there are a number of things. But the one thing I will say that I've seen is women put themselves last. Women are never on their list. They do for everyone else.
Yeah.
And very often they don't do for themselves.
Yeah.
And that can lead to a number of things, right? So it can lead to burnout. A lot of high achieving women, which is my demographic, very successful women, are often burning out. They are, and it's not the kind of burnout that men have. So when men are burning out, very often their performance dims, right? They're not doing as well, they're not as productive. Sometimes women have that. But there's a kind of burnout that I find that's very common, especially with very successful women. I call it feminine burnout. They're doing well at work, but something is happening for themselves. They're losing their joy, they're losing their excitement, they're losing their radiance, they're getting old before their time.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a pharmacist, I was experiencing that. I was doing the work, but if you see me, like I'm gonna be 50. I feel, and I think I look younger than I did when I was in my 30s.
Pharmacy.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing work that I loved.
Yeah.
And I wasn't living in such a way that I cared for myself. My self-care was zero. And most of us, our self-care is zero. But we take care of everyone else. And this is a common thing. We've been talking about it for years, but it still is something that women struggle with.
But that's the thing. How do you let go of that? Because that becomes your responsibility, taking care of everybody else around you. You cannot renege on your duties as a woman.
That's right.
How do you then balance the equation?
Great question. I think you have to realize you can't pour from an empty cup.
Empty cup, yes.
And when you're taking care of yourself, it's not you being selfish. It's you giving yourself the capacity to take better care of the people around you. Because here's the thing, if you are caring for people and you're resenting them, like, you look at all the food I cooked and I did all of this and you guys should all be grateful, is that really care?
Yeah.
It's not. But if you are able to come from a place of love because you are not exhausted. We had this event, you talked about it just recently.
Yeah.
Here at the Fitzgerald called Love, Beauty and Womanhood. And, there were so many wonderful conversations, but we had some real conversations. Can we get to have some real conversations?
Yes. Let's get in there.
We had some real conversations about relationships.
Yeah.
And how women have become so tired that the thing that's supposed to give you joy
Doesn't.
in a relationship, that when he touches you, you're like, please, don't even look my way. Because you're exhausted. And it's not meant to be like that.
Yeah.
It's meant to be you and your lover, your children having a good time, but you're exhausted all the time. And so I always caution women, don't give your family the dregs, because we give everyone else the best of ourselves and we drag ourselves home and we give our families, the ones we love the most, the worst of ourselves.
Yeah.
It is our responsibility to say, I need to protect my capacity, particularly for the people who really matter. Because our jobs are important, our friends are important, our churches are important. But the people who will be with you at the very end of the day are the people that you love, your children, your husband if you have one.
So how do I know that I'm in a space that isn't bringing out the best of me? And how do I make that decision to move out of that space?
You're asking all the good questions.
Well, I'm learning.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Those are good questions. I think when you find that you are being really hard on yourself and others, sometimes we assume that our behavior is our personality.
Yeah.
So some women, have you ever been around a woman that people say, oh, that woman, she's a tough woman, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that woman also tends to say, I'm just a tough woman. But really and truly, you may not be.
Yeah.
The other thing could be that you're in a toxic community.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. You're in a community of people who are either very selfish, self-centered, and they just don't care. That's real. It's up to you to be able to ask yourself the hard questions. Is this a community, a circle of friends that I can thrive in?
If not, you have to let go.
You have to let go.
How many of you push people away when they want to help you? You do that as well. Can we get the microphone? You don't mind talking about it, do you? Tell us an instance where, or a couple of, instances where people try to help you and, like she said, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. Meanwhile, you knew you needed the help.
Okay, I needed money for something, but like my friend was like, oh, let me help. I was like, oh, I got it. But I later, you see, sometimes when motivational speakers are talking, they'll be like, like you don't have to show like your vulnerability. Like it makes you feel weak.
Yeah.
So like when you tell them, oh, I've got it, it makes you feel like, oh, I'm an independent person, I'm an independent woman. Yes. So I've learned that thing. So I can't, I don't know, anytime someone offers me help, I don't know, I feel, nah, I don't need the help. I want to be an independent person. I want to learn it the hard way. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So the motivational speakers too are misleading us some way, somehow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, before she speaks to this, who else wants to touch? Okay, there's a lady behind you. The gentleman, you can also have this conversation with us. We're not leaving you out.
Okay, my name is Lydia.
Lily.
Yes.
Lily, speak up.
Okay, please, I don't accept help because I feel I'm going to be in debt to you. Like, I feel indebted to you. So the more you help me, the more I feel like I have to do something in return. So I don't really accept help. I feel like, let me just do it my own way so that I know I did it for myself.
Yeah. I see a lot of people nodding. There's a gentleman who wants to speak as well.
Okay, thank you. So I was initially doing that. Reason being that some of us, our parents brought us in such a manner that we don't get too much closer to friends. So we were brought up that it's you and only you. Focus on what you are looking for, and that is it. But then as time went on and I was growing up, I felt that no, as we grow, we need people around us because we can't make it all by ourselves. We need people to rely on sometimes. Yeah. So I try to get just a few people around me that I can rely on in times of these needs. Okay. But then it started and then I've changed my mind on that.
So now you accept help
I
openly.
Accept help, yeah.
I'm still learning to do that because I'm also a very independent person. You want to buckle my shoes, I'm like, oh, no, don't worry, I'm fine. Meanwhile, I know I need it.
Yes.
But I'd rather, so later I'm doing it, I'm like, but why didn't I accept this help? Now I'm here stressing.
That's right.
But there are two things that I identified from the things they said. One of them talks about motivational speakers. So people they look up to and what they say to them. And then also growing up, what you're taught from home makes you sort of reject some of the help that comes your way. How do you unlearn some of these things that have been with you for a very long time?
Yeah. I think a question I'd like everyone to ask themselves is, how does this serve me? This way of thinking, this way of being, does it serve me and does it serve what I'm here to do?
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't serve you, it may no longer be valid right now.
Yeah.
So the way your parents raised you has value, obviously, right? But it's valuable for them. Like, if you think about it, back in our parents' time, I don't know about your generation, but in my generation, we were using like VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And then it was DVDs, and now it's streaming. If I give my daughter a DVD, I don't even know she knows what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Much less can she even use it. So it's like some of that idea, some of the advice is outdated. It no longer works for the world we live in today.
Okay.
So you have to ask yourself those questions. Does it serve you and does it serve you now?
And it doesn't make you selfish when you're asking these questions?
No. It makes you self-aware.
Okay.
There's a difference between being self-centered, self-worshipping, and self-aware. And asking, because here's the other thing. I think it's important that we recognize that each of us is necessary. And we're necessary for a purpose. God created us for something.
Yeah.
And I'm here to do something. And so if I know that I'm here to do something, asking, how does this serve me, is really asking, how does this serve God? Because I'm here to serve God.
Yeah.
And so if something does not allow me to thrive, it means I can't do what I'm called to do.
But the issue of being indebted to the person.
Yeah.
So you should also know when to accept help and when not to accept help, because you should know what the motive, the real motive of the person is. Like she's saying, she doesn't want to be indebted to the person, and so she'd rather say no.
Yes. Well,
How can he tell when to accept and when not to?
some of that is the person and some of that is you.
Ah.
Right? Because you don't want to feel indebted.
Yeah.
So the person believing you're indebted to them is on them. How you feel is on you, right? And so some people don't want to feel indebted and they don't want anyone to also stress them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to take from anyone because I actually don't like to give to anyone. So we have to shift out of that mindset. We're in community. It's a two-way street. But the other thing is, if someone is behaving as if you owe me, if you know that every time you encounter this individual, they say things like, you owe me, after all I've done for you, things like that, then you recognize that that person is not necessarily a safe person to receive help from.
Okay, now the other conversation. So we talk about women empowerment, feminism here and there, and it looks as if we're relegating the men to the back. So again, they're having conversations where you'd hear some people say that very soon we're going to have empowered women and weak men. Because we're teaching women how to be strong, we're teaching women how to take over, from the men, and we're not teaching the men how to manage women and stay strong as well. So we're going to have the reverse of it and start a whole generation of male empowerment because we left them behind for a very long time. Do you guys feel that way? Yes. You do? Yes. You say absolutely. Okay, can we pass the microphone to him so he tells us a bit about that before Ekene comes in?
So I interact a lot with the youth because of certain projects that I also run.
Yeah.
And then on few conversations that I've had, specifically with people in the senior high schools, youth, males, it looks like a lot of them don't have self-confidence. And a lot of them are not aware of themselves. And usually we go for programs, and not to be biased, but it's always about ladies and ladies empowerment, women empowerment, and everybody's focus is on women. But then there is little or no effort made to organize programs for, I think in the West it's quite common in the West, but here in Africa, in our part of the world, you are expected to be strong as a man. There are times that I've faced and encountered in my life, so I needed people to talk to, but because they look up to me, they know I'm a man, I tell them I need help, and then they feel I'm okay. They don't even believe you. You need help. If you even tell your, it's even difficult here in Ghana to tell your fellow brother, I love you.
That's right.
To say, brother, give me a hug. A whole lot of things come to play. It's like, are you?
Yeah, they start to give some jobs.
So I think, please, going forward, balance it a little bit, and then when you need some of us on board, we can come in and help too.
Very valid points like he's made. So what do you say to this?
I think we are already over-indexed in women empowerment, and we are not paying attention to our boys specifically, but our men as well. But it's also, again, we have to take personal responsibility. Number one, we do need more men to rise up. So I work with women because I'm a woman. I'm not necessarily going to work with men because I'm not a man. I don't really understand all that has to do with masculinity. And so that call is very valid, but it's also a call to men to rise up and start to empower other men, number one. Number two, we also have to fight against the notion, because to his point, men are told, be a man. Women have always been told, go and fix yourselves. And so we are actually, it's worked in our favor. We've gone to look for help. But the idea of looking for help is even considered emasculating. It's considered kind of weak. So a lot of men, even if you do a man's program today, how many men will come? Because it's considered, I'm a man, how can I? That's the way they, very often, if you go even to church programs, it's women that are there. You see very few men, right? Because it's considered not masculine to seek help or to even admit help. If men gather, as to his point, when you see men gathering, if one man just starts to say, oh boy, I don't even know, I'm using Nigerian slang.
It's okay.
I don't even know. This is my life. They say, bring beer, and they shut it down very quickly because they're not even giving him the room to express himself. So it's not just that we need to create the programs, but men also have to become more intentional and more, not aggressive, but more such as saying, I need help. I'm a person too, and I deserve support. I deserve to really work on myself as well. This idea of be a man, it's not be a man, it's become the man that I was created to be.
But will the women accept when the man opens up and says, I need help? Like, let's say you are dating someone. A woman can easily walk to a man and say, I'm broke.
Yes.
I need some help. The moment the man comes to the woman and says, I'm broke.
No, don't go to the woman, go to other men. And I'll tell you why. Because we live in a patriarchal society, we have certain dynamics. And so as long as you want those dynamics to be maintained, going to your woman, right, especially in a society where women are earning less than men, where women are dealing with there's a reason why we're over-indexed in women empowerment, because women struggle more in this society, whether we want to admit it or not. Women often do two jobs. They work at home and they work outside of the home if they're quote unquote empowered, right? And so you're dealing with a woman who already has all of this going on, and she's looking to her man a particular way. He's supposed to be her source of strength. This is the way we have set it up in our society. He's a provider and her protector. And so when the provider and protector then says to her, who is looking up to you, it's like you're going to your children. I'm not saying that women are children, please don't misunderstand me, but there is a power dynamic that we've set up in this society.
Yeah.
And so when you then go to the woman and say, I need money, I need this, it's like, wait, confusion. You can't ask me to look up to you, and yet you two come back and say, I need something from you, which is why I'm being very practical. I'm not saying that is right or wrong. I'm saying it is. And so as a man, you should have other men you go to. Women also have other women they go to.
But they go to the men more.
They go to, not always, they go to their men more.
That's what I mean, yes.
They go to their, not every man, they go to their men, right? And men also go to women too for the things they need that are not considered masculine. They go to women for this idea of you're my peace. They go to women, pray for me. That's also work. They go to women, cook for me. They go to women, love me. Those are all forms of support. So just because a woman is going to a man asking for financial support, that's one form of support. So they're supporting each other.
Is it different in marriage, or is still the same thing in marriage? So that if I'm married to a man and my man comes home and says, babe, I'm broke, I need help.
That's
is
different.
that okay? That's
to me, when you're married, both, and this is just me, you both have the same pot.
Okay.
You're both investing. And I'm a mother of 2 girls. And I have young men that I consider like sons. I might say something that is maybe is not going to be popular, but to the boys that I see as my sons, I don't believe you should be paying anybody's rent. I don't believe you should be paying, and this is just me, I'm a mother.
You mean when you're dating?
When you're dating.
Okay.
When you're dating, because that is too much for you as a boy. If this is a woman you've identified as a wife that you want to bring on, and then you want to protect and provide for, that makes sense to me. But if it's just dating, there's actually too much pressure we're putting on each other. We're adults. Everybody should be an adult to some degree. Now, take her out somewhere nice, take care of her to some degree, buy her nice gifts. But if you are reliant, and again, like I said, this might be unpopular, but I work, I take care of myself. My children work. I believe women should be financially empowered. I preach, and I cannot say something different from what I practice myself. I will accept any gift any man wants to give me, no question about it, but I will not require someone to take care of me in order for me to love him, right? But I will not also accept someone saying, I am not going to take care of you when we get together and we're married. So that is important.
But when you're dating, it's not a man's job.
I think when you're dating, show love, show care, show regard, and give gifts, of course. But I don't subscribe to that concept, and I've never subscribed to it.
So, for example, and we'll take a break shortly, but for example, okay, so let me create this scenario. I meet a guy meets me, and we're in love. Yes, we want to date and everything. We start dating, but I come from a not too well-to-do family. And so things are tough. And I'm supposed to be the breadwinner for my family. So everybody's relying on me to go work and come and take care of them. I'm working all right, but I'm not really making enough money. And then there's an issue of rent. And maybe you, as my boyfriend, you're well-to-do, so you can afford it. You're saying that if I'm dating you, it's not your responsibility to help me out With my rent?
It's not a responsibility, but if I care about you and you're struggling, I cannot love you, have the money, and not pour into you.
Okay.
Do you understand? So I'm not saying there's anything wrong. Like the scenario you just painted, if I have the money as a man, especially as a man, and you love someone, you make it easier for them.
Yeah.
But it is not a responsibility that you now come and say, you're the man I'm dating. It is your no, I don't believe it is a responsibility of a man you're dating. It is the responsibility of a husband to take care of his family. But a man you're dating, if I care about you, listen, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
If you come to my house and I'm dating you, and I love you, and you're hungry, I will feed you.
Yeah.
Because I love you. I will cook for you because I love you.
Yeah.
It is not my responsibility to come to your house and cook stew, egusi, this, that, because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
But if you are hungry, I will care for you because you are the person I love. And so I think there's a difference between love, right, and this transactional behavior we've been doing, right? If you love someone, you cannot see them suffering and say, oh, well, it's not my responsibility. You know what I mean? So that's the distinction I'm making. That's the only distinction. So I know, and I accepted help, and I think you should accept help. I think women should be open to that. And I think a man who's worth his salt will not see a woman suffer. However, I think we do need to turn our minds around and not start to say, I'm a woman, and therefore I don't have to think about building wealth.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about being financially empowered. I'm going to lead with my beauty and let someone just come and take care of me. Soft life gang. That's not what a soft life looks like, because guess what? I'm 50. I've seen what that life can look like on the other side when you choose to be completely financially disempowered and give away all of your agency. So I think it's important that we all maintain our agency as well, right? So it's a nuanced answer. It's a nuanced answer. It's not an easy answer.
I see. Well, Ekene Onu is our guest in the studios. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Okay, so I'm here with, I can call you life coach, right?
Sure.
Exactly. Ekene Onu is our guest, and she's the founder of Iconic Womanhood. Quite recently, there was a conference here for women in Ghana, and she was the brain behind it. But we're going to play a game, the 5 seconds game, and I have my cards here as well. So we're going to play about 5 of them. Now, there are questions here, and what we're going to do is, when I ask you the question, I'm going to flip this. And when the last ball hits the bottom, that means 5 seconds gone. You should be able to answer this question in 5 seconds. Very easy ones.
Okay.
Okay? Ha, this is an interesting one. Are you ready?
No, but continue.
So, name 3 things you might find in a bathroom.
Toothpaste, a toothbrush, makeup wipes.
Ha! Okay. Name 3 months that have 31 days.
March, September, July.
Ah! Is there 31 days in July? September is 30 days. Oh, wah, wah, wah. Okay. Name 3 national flags containing the color green.
Good God. Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica.
Woo! Okay, let's go. 2 more. Name 3 famous African-American actors.
Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Don Cheadle.
Ha! Well, these questions are too easy. Wait, let me look for something that's a bit... Okay, let's see. Name 3 things you can't resist.
Chocolate, Nigerian bread, jollof rice.
Nigerian bread. What is it about Nigerian bread?
It's just the right amount of sweet and doughy.
Is it? I didn't even know there was anything like Nigerian bread.
Agege bread.
Agege. Oh, that's what they call that.
Bread.
But we have agege bread here too, don't we? Oh, no.
We took it from Nigeria.
Oh, we took it. No, we didn't take it from Nigeria. No. But I've heard agege bread, and a lot of people rave about it. But you see, you didn't say Nigerian jollof. You said jollof. So that one, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's Ghanaian jollof. Have you had Ghanaian jollof?
I have.
What do you think?
I think jollof is about who cooks it and not about what country makes it.
Really?
Because you can have a great cook. I've had bad Ghanaian jollof, and I've had good Ghanaian jollof. And I've had bad Nigerian jollof, and I've had great Nigerian jollof.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, final one. I just want to find out what you do. Name 3 things you do before going to bed.
Wash my face, have a shower, pray.
Wash your face, have a shower, and pray. You do that religiously?
Yes.
Why? Are you shocked that she washes her face? Before showering? But you don't understand. Washing your face is a whole chore on its own.
That's right. It's separate from having a shower.
Can you explain to the men? Because they don't seem to get it.
It's a whole production on its own, yes.
Because we wear makeup, right?
That's right. You
exactly.
take off your makeup, you put on your nighttime routine, all of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they always tell us that the soap that you use in, bathing is not the same soap you should use in washing your face.
That's right.
You should have facial. Oh, the girls don't know it too?
Ay. They're still young. They don't
They're
need
still
it.
young,
They're
right?
still young.
Wait, please,
Wait.
I need the microphone back.
Yes, when you
Quickly.
get older.
I need to.
Look at her skin. She's still young.
So, please pass it on in the front. The lady in the front. It's because she has natural hair. Wait, so you don't have separate, products for your face and your body?
No, I just use the soap I used to bath.
The soap you used to bath. So what do? And then you use your sponge to scrub your face?
No, I just use the soap to rub my face, then I wash it off.
Okay, and then when you're done, what do you apply on your face?
Nothing. You just use pomade and nothing.
You use your body lotion on your face?
Yes.
So ideally, those that have been created for face and body have been used to be at least as gentle. Because you can use something for your face, for your body. But using something that's just designed for the body, for the face, can be a bit harsh. So those that are for face and body, ideally, they've made them to the gentleness that you need for your face.
So that's fine then.
So that should be fine.
Maybe we should have a whole conversation about skincare one of these days.
I think you should.
We should. But Akena, what are you working on for the rest of the year?
Rest for the rest of the year. Relaxation, jollification, that's what I'm working on.
Jollification, I'm liking that.
Yes, that's what I'm working on personally. Okay. But we have some things coming up next year that we are preparing for as a team.
Okay.
We do a lot of transformational travel. So we're doing Dubai, and we're coming back to Ghana next year.
Nice.
So we're already beginning to prepare for that. I'm going back to the US, and we're going to be doing our programs. We have a program called the Iconic Women Mastermind, which is a transformational program for feminine leaders who want to launch out into their next level. And so a lot of our clients are building businesses, and they want to build a business in a way that does not take away from them, and that's what we help them do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we also have a program called the Iconic Womanhood Circle, which is for high-achieving women, professional women, to do the self-care, the soul care, and the womanhood work that we've been talking about.
I see. Well, we're looking forward to all of that. How can we find you online?
I am on Instagram at iconicwomanhood_coach.
Okay.
I'm on TikTok too.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been able to figure it out?
Girl, 19,000 followers.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still quite lost there, but
I'm enjoying it actually.
Really? Okay.
I don't dance though.
Oh.
I don't dance on TikTok, but I might start. Yes, because why not?
Well,
why
okay.
not? Yes.
What's your handle on TikTok?
Iconic Womanhood Coach.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm sure you'd want to ask her more questions, and so please do follow her. For those of you who are watching as well, if you want to be part of her circle, make sure you do that as well. Thank you so much, Akena, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
It's been such a pleasure speaking to you.
I've enjoyed it.
We should have like a proper one-on-one session. Let's talk about life.
Why not?
And womanhood and everything in between.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's edition of The Day Show with Akena. You have as well, right? Yes, indeed. And this is how we wrap up on today's edition. We'll see you again next week. But until then, my name is Berla Mundi. Big thank you to Dr. Ash Furniture for our lovely furniture here. And also to Bevay Styling. And to Christy Brown for this lovely outfit. We'll see you again next week.